Hi everyone, it's Harry here from Year 13 and I have Rebecca Pickering with me on behalf of the Civil Contractors Federation of South Australia. Welcome Rebecca, it's great to have you involved in the Year 13 Expo this year.
Thanks Harry, this is a first time experience for Civil Contractors Federation, so excited to be here and to be talking to everyone today.
Fantastic, it's great to have you. So to start off, can you tell me a little bit about yourself, your role and the Civil Contractors Federation of South Australia itself?
Yeah, definitely. So my background is 23 plus years in the construction space. So I started with mining in the late 90s and then moved through into a construction firm after a small stint with the Roxby project. Ever since then, I've worked in construction. I've never worked anywhere else. I've had consultancy companies. I've held various roles across compliance, risk, IT management. Currently, I hold the role of CEO at CCF, or Civil Contractors Federation, South Australia. And I also hold an executive director role with Civil Apprenticeships and Careers, which is probably the most exciting part of today, in the fact that I employ a lot of apprentices for the civil industry.
Fantastic.
Basically me in a nutshell.
Yeah, okay, brilliant. Okay. And speaking of the civil industry, could you just detail what that is? Like, what does that kind of cover?
Definitely. It's funny how often I get asked that question. Not too many people know what civil industry is, so don't feel that, it's an odd question to ask.
No, yeah.
Civil industry is basically, it's an industry that provides all of our public infrastructure. When you think of roads, bridges, pavements, tunnels, everything in earth moving, foundations of homes or high rises in the city, we undertake all of that work. So when you see those big bits of yellow plant, excavation, rollers, scrapers, all those big bits of expensive equipment, that's us pretty much. The civil industry is probably one of the only industries where the client is predominantly government as well. So unlike other trades or unlike other industries, our industry will never cease to exist, because in order for us to maintain our way of life, the civil industry needs to provide, water to our taps, roads for us to get to work on, foundations for our buildings to be built on. So it's a big, massive industry that is very secure and has a very long life in front of it.
Absolutely. Okay. So yeah, in order for us to all be able to drive in the roads and use tunnels and for, our growing cities, especially Adelaide, expanding at a huge rate to facilitate the growth of population, we need to innovate. And that is
correct.
The backbone of construction with tunnel.
On our current budget as well, we have 16.8 billion to be spent in the next 4 years.
Wow.
So it's huge. I think there's $1 billion just in roads. There's another 9 billion almost just on a tunnel that we're constructing for the next 10 years. It's absolutely massive. And even once those projects are built, we then need to maintain them. So our industry is not only building new infrastructure that you can see and lasts, 150 years plus. It's the maintenance of those structures as well. So yeah, it's an amazing industry to be a part of.
Right. And with this big investment in, the $1 billion in roads and what have you, I imagine with this investment, it generates kind of growth in the local and state economy, but that means jobs, right? That means there's a high kind of influx of roles available for.
And for us in South Australia, we've never had, and in similar to other states, the civil industry has never had its own apprenticeship. It was always a traineeship. So we've recently lobbied to have it declared as a trade. So now kids or anyone can now undertake for the first time ever a civil apprenticeship. And there's 2 different apprenticeships in our industry. So we have civil construction general and we have civil construction plant operations. And I guess the unique thing about our apprenticeship is that within the civil construction general, you have 9 streams. So you can actually specialise within that trade.
Wow.
You can do things like pipeline, traffic management, road construction, tunnel, bridge construction. There's a whole range of specialties that you can do within our trade, which is unlike any other trade like plumbing or electrical. You can actually specialise. And the other point of difference is that it's only a 3-year apprenticeship too.
Great. And that's the civil general, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Both of them are actually 3-year apprenticeships. So civil construction general with all of those streams, or civil construction plant ops, so plant operations where you drive excavators, scrapers, rollers, tippers, everything that you can think of. That's a 3-year apprenticeship as well.
Brilliant. Okay, fantastic. So speaking on the topic of the 2 apprenticeships available in civil, so they're both 3 years, but is this post school, during school? Can you do it full-time, part-time? Is it a...
Great question. So we're a group training organisation, so we actually employ school-based and full-time apprentices. So it could be that you're still at school, and you're sort of in that year 11 sort of bracket, and you've got your licence and you can pass the medical. I can pretty much give you a job. You can still stay at school and finish your SACE, in our state at SACE.
Yes.
So you can still undertake that process, or you can leave school if school's not for you, and come over as a full-time apprentice.
Fantastic. And how do I apply through these GTOs?
So just like you would with any other job. So our door's always open. So right now you can go to our website and you can follow the link to apply. We're always watching that website and always keen to see emails and resumes coming through. Likewise, we advertise on Seek as well, so seek.com. But probably the best way to do it is to follow our website, lodge your register of interest with us, and then we can make contact with you and you can apply.
Fantastic. So that's the ccfsa.com.au. And Year 13 will also have these roles available on our page for CCF SA.
And I also have another website too. So not only just CCF, which is the business side of the machine, but we have the dedicated apprenticeship side, which is civil apprenticeships and careers.
Oh, fantastic.
So that's www.cacl.com.au.
cacl.com.au. Brilliant. Okay. Now speaking, on the topic of GTOs, can you explain what that is? Yeah,
so a group training organisation is it's a business that only employs apprentices, and then it uses the industry in order to do the on-the-job training component of your apprenticeship.
Okay.
So it's sort of like a labour hire, but it's not. It's apprentices, and it's the alternative to it is direct indentured. So that might be where Harry goes and works for Jimmy's Earth Moving, and you only work for Jimmy for the next 3 years. If you work for me, you're my employee as a GTO, but I can then put you with different hosts to find the best experience that works for you.
Great.
So that means that if you do go out to a particular host and it doesn't work for you or it doesn't work for them, I can swap you around to find you the best fit. I often explain it to apprentices. It's a little bit like dating. You can be the best apprentice, you can be the best host, but sometimes personalities don't mix. Sometimes something just doesn't resolve. It could be that you're working with someone you don't like. The beauty of a GTO is that your apprenticeship can still continue, and we'll just find you a better place to be, something that fits you better, fits the host better, and you can finish your career and get on with it, and have a good experience.
Absolutely.
Direct indenturing, you can't really do that.
Okay, cool. So that's the main benefit of working with and for a GTO. And I imagine in this civil construction apprenticeship, there's the 8 streams. So there's the access to all those different.
That's right. So you can even start, say, for example, you might say, yep, I'm going to give pipe laying a go. So we sign you up and we get you going, and then you start it and you're like, yeah, no, this isn't for me. I want to do traffic management. So then you can actually just pick up the phone, let us know. We can actually move you over. So we can still use the same units of competency in your apprenticeship and just slide you over to another stream. And again, just find something that works for you. Much greater opportunity and flexibility, unlike other trades.
Okay, fantastic. And on the topic of these different roles and different streams and, through the GTO, I know you've mentioned there's the plant side, so the machinery, large earth movers and graders and things, and there's the
construction general.
Yeah, the general one, which is more of the tools and hands-on maintenance. What kind of jobs in a roundabout way? What kind of jobs are available in the civil industry?
Yeah, oh God, plenty. So basically you think of all of those infrastructure projects that we've got. It's everything from civil workers part, operators, pipe layers, loader drivers. You could be safety, you can do quality, you can do project management, you could go into construction management. You can even, and again, like most trades in our particular industry, you can even go and set up your own business, get a bit of plant, get your truck and be your own boss. There's so much work out there at the moment, and if ever you're going to start your business or you feel that you need more autonomy in order to, to give your career the best prospects of
Success,
growing, you can be your own boss, go and get some plant equipment and do your own thing. So I think the opportunity is really limitless. Like me in my role, I fell into where I worked into risk compliance, information technology, but all in a construction and infrastructure environment. So yeah, you can really do so many things.
How good. And these skills you have, you can take anywhere.
Yeah, 100%. So this is a national accreditation. So your trade qualification that you get here in South Australia, you can take nationally. You can also take up into the mines if you like. So you can work anywhere in the metro area. You can work regionally. You can go abroad and do fly in, fly out if you like. Oh, sorry, my light's just turned off. Me being environmentally friendly.
I love it. Yeah. Oh, that's good to know that there is like such a diverse application of apprenticeships and also skills in the civil construction industry. And so, thinking about the civil construction industry and the range of jobs, being if you're a sole trader and having your own truck, or if you're working as a safety compliance officer or as a project manager, what are the entry level here? What are we talking salary advice?
Yeah, so obviously when you're an apprentice, obviously you're starting at the very lower part of your pay scale. So, and again, we know apprentice wages are hard, but that's where you've got to start and you've really got to resolve yourself. But our industry, again, it's a 3-year apprenticeship. So you can move out pretty quickly from your apprenticeship and still be in your early 20s. And you're pretty close to that 6-figure sort of sum.
Wow.
Our industry, it's hard. It's in the dirt. You're out in the rain, hail, sun. And they're long days. It's not an easy job, but it pays you very well for it. So as long as you don't mind being outdoors and rolling up your sleeves, you could be earning anywhere from 60 grand in the really early days right up to 200,000 plus.
Wow.
It really does depend on how the attitude you bring to the job. You get in, get it done, keep your opportunities alive, and always look for how you can improve and take on new tasks. But yeah, the pathways are amazing. And for me personally, to go from what I did a diploma in TAFE to get to where I am today. I did my master's and uni later in my career. But yeah, you really are unlimited by your dreams and your own aspirations. And my word, it does pay extremely well. If you work hard, you got it made.
Fantastic. And it's a career that you can take you from the project management side if you're less inclined to be hands on the tools, or to plant machinery operation 100%. And all those skills you learn, even if you don't go out and yourself in the first 5 years, you get the access, the connections, I can imagine you have connections with your own organization. There's nothing stopping you going out on your own and then being
I've done that. I've had side hustle all the way through my career. I've had my own consultancy company that sits in the background that I take on my own clients, and I assist subcontractors with their compliance and risk management, and I've been able to do that whilst holding down a full-time job. So it just gives you a huge amount of flexibility to be able to really work your space and craft and what you want to do. And again, you're only constrained by your own limitations, really.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, those physical, skills you learn, they're so applicable, and they're never going, as you said before, they're never going to be automated. They're never going to be replaced by.
They might change slightly, but we're still going to need shovels and boots on ground.
Exactly. Yeah. There'll be technological advancement and things, but there's never not going to be a requirement for roads, tunnels.
As I said before, our client is government. Most of our work that we undertake is public works. We're never going to run out of work to do.
Yeah.
It's just never going to be a thing. And there'll always be money behind it. It's never going to be a matter of mum and dad can't afford to buy the house. It's we need the bridge, or we need the road fixed, or we need our sewer systems replaced. Those things can't wait. So
continual stream of work. Great. And okay, so it's clearly an exciting prospect and a extremely lucrative kind of industry to get into. Definitely. So what are the basic requirements for a young individual looking to get into the civil construction apprenticeship?
100%. Probably the most important thing is obviously you want to work outside, and you do understand that it is potentially a dusty, dirty sort of environment. So you're not a fear of getting some dirt under your fingernails type of thing.
Yeah.
But beyond that, if you like being outside, if you've got a driver's license and you can pass a drug and medical and fitness test, you're fine. I've got plenty of posts right now that are looking for apprentices. So
it's an awesome opportunity to kind of get into it. There's no major prerequisites required.
No special subjects at school required. You do need to pass for the Cert 3, like with any trade school. You do need to pass a literacy and numeracy test, but we can work you through that. We can provide support mechanisms for that too. So don't ever think that that's too much. There are tests you can do online as well, which I'm sure Year 13 details as well.
Definitely.
So you can do this little self-test, and again, it's nothing onerous. You've just really got to love being outside and getting into things.
Awesome. Yeah, you can sure beat sitting in office all day, that's for sure.
Oh, any day of the week, 100% as part of, I love my job for the fact that I can chuck the boots on and get out on site. So
yeah,
that's good.
Beautiful. So if I was a 17-year-old just finishing up school, how long between, inquiring with, your GTO and then getting my boots in the ground, how long would that take?
Yeah, again, it depends on obviously how quickly you can move through it. It depends on what recruitment phase we're in as well.
Okay.
If we're doing, we like to run pre-apprenticeship programs as well. So for those kids or those entry-level participants that haven't had exposure to civil, we offer a pre-apprenticeship program where you can come in, do a 2-week trial basically, and you're actually doing the units of competency that make up your apprenticeship.
Interesting.
So like an early start into your apprenticeships. We like to run those programs.
Great.
So if we're recruiting, we'll try and slide you into one of those if you have no exposure. But other than that, if you've had pre-existing experience, might be with another trade, it could be that you're moving out into a different space or that you've been labouring for someone. As long as you understand what civil construction is and you can demonstrate that to us, we can pretty much get you out there ASAP. It really is just a matter of touching base, and then we can work it from there.
Great. Okay. Well, it's been, what a fantastic kind of insight into the civil construction industry, which I personally had no idea about.
There you go. See, you like someone.
Yeah, we rely on it every day, and then
yes.
We don't really think. People think more about the building and other apprenticeships you can do.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
But yeah, and we see a lot of us will see civil construction
everywhere
workers all the time. Doing night works or in the morning. And to think that there is quite a easy way to get involved.
Oh, definitely. And it pays so well as well. It's good. And you leave a legacy, like, the bridges you drive down, the roads, the amazing infrastructure that you see, those big, massive monoliths that you drive past every day. You can actually drive past that when you're an old person and say to your grandkids, I built that.
Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely.
That story. And for me, that's one of those things that I find inspirational about working in the industry. The fact that you leave that legacy and something that, I can point to and tell my kids, I did that project, I did that one, and tell them the stories behind it.
No doubt. Okay, how cool. Well, that's all the time we have for today. But thank you so much, Rebecca, for detailing your experience in the industry and how you went from, construction and compliance and safety to being the CEO of the CCFA.
Mm-hmm.
So, for those individuals looking to get into some sort of trade or not looking to go down the tertiary route of education, it's clear to me that a civil apprenticeship in civil construction is a great opportunity.
And you can actually still do that. Sorry, just to one.
Yeah, of course.
Raise a really important point there. With regards to university, you can still do university. So you can still do civil engineering through a trade pathway. So we're very big advocates for that. So you can come and still do your civil trade qualification. Then you should do a couple of bridging units, and then you have acceptance into university. So you can still do civil engineering, or what we advocate for is that doing that pathway gives you much greater exposure to life skills and construction life before starting university. Because what we find now is university students are coming out of uni without the ability to be able to, talk to and move past some of the nuances of what it is to work in our industry.
Definitely.
It's not easy, and yet if you've had a trade background in it, you know how to walk and talk it.
Oh, good. Okay, cool. So that there's the practical application in the trade side, which complements what you'd learn 100%. From the technical academic sense at university.
Correct. That's exactly right. And you might be under the awesome opportunity where your employer might actually pay for it. So if you are working for a big principal contractor or even a smaller host or an employer like myself, when you move into your trade, it might be that someone's out there quite happy to pay for your civil engineering degree.
Wow.
So better than having a HECS. If they want to pay for it, great.
That's a brilliant point. So it's a great complementary, for those students thinking about a degree in engineering.
Correct. Start with a trade, because you're really going to understand it. You literally, your boots are on the ground.
Yeah.
So when you do go to university, you've got all of that experience and that life understanding that you can apply and have a better outcome because of it.
Exactly.
You're so much more, education and on-site rich because of that experience.
Yeah, and typically after a degree in engineering, you end up having your boots in the ground anyway. It's the first thing you do is you go on site.
But it's really hard because you're a lot older then. You haven't been out there. University is a completely different world to what a construction site is. Very different people that you're interacting with. So yeah, I don't know. It seems to make more sense to me to do that pathway. But yeah, either way is good.
It's awesome to know of all these, especially the two civil construction apprenticeships available, yes. Those two major pathways, but also the fact that it's so flexible that you can do it with uni, before uni.
That's
you
right.
can still do it like school-based or full-time if you'd like. And the application process is so simple to go through a GTO.
There's really no excuse.
Yeah, absolutely, and I agree. And not to mention that, it's quite a profitable career,
Yes,
and it's
definitely.
Huge application across the industry. I imagine you can go work in the mines, as you said, fly in, fly out worker. You can probably go for private construction. The skills
I think in my 20-something years, I think, I see more trade people with Ferraris and speedboats and, and all those sorts of lovely things versus, accountants and lawyers who, just have a different means. But yeah, I don't know. It boggles the mind. Why
it does.
Don't do it.
Well, you guys heard it here first. You should get into it. It's a growing industry with a huge amount of potential. So again, thank you so much, Rebecca, for your time. And of course, thank you to the Civil Contractors Federation of South Australia for providing us with this opportunity. It's been eye-opening for me personally to think about what could have been in a career of...
Everyone says that.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe I might roll my sleeves up one day and get my trade in civil construction.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you so much.